Problem-Based Learning Projects by Crystal Yancey. Imagine the possibilities with a problem-based learning project. Problem-based learning projects are projects that connect the student's interest to a curriculum, not where the textbook has already laid out the main points for you. Connecting problem-based learning to real-life applications. Who would benefit most from solving these problems? That's what students are interested in. Problem-based learning projects can be collaborative with other students in other schools, even in other parts of the world. When students know that their project offers value for the community, they become even more interested in learning. Connecting the big ideas that you want your student to learn about. Teachers can collaborate with other teachers to find natural connections between subjects like math, science, writing, health, art, and music. And teachers shouldn't be afraid to veer into unfamiliar territory, because that's what we're asking our students to do. Project-based learning stretches the intellectual muscle so the students can remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. When students hit difficult areas in their problem-based learning, teachers need to encourage them. Digital literacy is important to incorporate in problem-based learning. They have to be able to find, evaluate, synthesize information from multiple sources, and we have to help them to become adaptable thinkers so that they can help address the still unknown challenges of this world. Learning dispositions like confidence, curiosity, resourcefulness, cooperation, motivation, persistence, and courage are useful to think about when you're planning your problem-based learning project. When you're choosing a topic for a problem-based learning, teachers need to ask, where could me and my students go with this? Does it bring people together? Does it enable students to connect with an authentic audience? Does it provide ways for students to create? Some quality theme ideas to think about for projects are survival, justice, interdependence, designed in natural worlds, and chaos and order. Projects that have too many steps laid out for the students are limited and predictable. These are some of the problem-based learning critical thinking aspects to think about. The best projects share the following qualities. Some of my favorite things are reaching beyond the school to involve others, realistic, stimulating experience, having students learn by doing, connect students with an authentic audience, or allow public sharing. Problem-based learning assessment is very difficult because as the student goes through the progression of the activity, they're questioning, investigating, making sense of what they discover, asking more questions, and doing more research until they emerge with their new understanding. So creating a rubric or using a school-wide rubric is very useful when you're doing problem-based learning. If you have a school that does a school-wide rubric, you can adjust your project to that specific rubric, and so then when the student goes from class to class, they will be able to understand the language that's used within that rubric. Personalized learning is project-based learning, and there's a summative assessment, which is at the end of the project assessment. This is important to see the quality of the project. What did we need to improve on? What worked? What didn't work? Summative assessment should be considered first because you are looking at what the student will be able to learn by the end of the project. Teachers can use traditional assessment like essays or exam, or they can use a blend of an old and a new, or they can create something new. They can enter a contest with their project. They can submit the project for publication, or have an outside expert in the specific field evaluate the project for a real-life application. Formative assessments are the milestones that the teachers set for the student as they're working through the problem-based learning project. These allow the teacher the opportunity to check in with the students, correct, redirect, reteach at those pivotal moments, and to shape learning. It's helpful for teachers to create a rubric for student collaboration. This maximizes the time that the students are working together and growing in their communicative skills and learning disposition skills. Some assessment options and tools. You can brainstorm with your students so that they get a deeper thinking and new tangent on your problem-based learning. There's coffee talks where you do mini lessons or workshops to guide and help support the student. Exit slips, they give students time to reflect or report their learning before going on to a new subject. And they can also use a digital portfolio, reflective journals, plans, outlines, and drafts of work they could keep in those portfolios. This is an idea I had for the problem-based learning. It's about coral bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef. The idea would have, for third graders, they would incorporate science, language arts, and digital literacy. So the coral reef, the coral in the Great Barrier Reef, they're turning white. It's called coral bleaching, and they're because of global warming. And so the students would look at the different standards for technology, science, and English. They would be collaborating with digital Web 2.0 tools, working collaboratively with other students. This is the project sketch. So this problem-based learning project is looking at coral bleaching. What are the effects of global warming on the Great Barrier Reef? What living organisms are affected by global warming? How are humans affecting global warming? And how can humans help the animals and living organisms in the Great Barrier Reef? Collaborating with students in classrooms and other schools. And to authenticate this project, you could share with scientists working in that field and that are working to find solutions for coral bleaching in the Great Barrier Reef. Outside of school, who cares about this matter? Who is this relevant to? Different people in different parts of the world. These are some of the questions that we would be working with the students. So that is, in a nutshell, problem-based learning, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.